Good morning, YouTube. It is the Authentic Man, aka God from the Can, back again. Um, and I'm just going to be making this video as a follow up to the previous video I did discussing the whole Fresh and Fit incident and the whole prefaces thing and everything like that. And I just got to get some stuff off of my chest. So, without further ado, let me just go ahead and get right to it. So, one of the big issues that was brought up with the whole Asian doll situation was basically colorism, and it was brought up because of a old Fresh and Fit clip in which they were answering a question from a caller that called in and was asking about a specific dating app. I think that was called Black or Blacked or something like that. And it was a dating app that was heavily focused on black women or black relationships. Excuse me. And basically, they responded by saying that they do not date black women. They used the term, I think, Lakeisha or Shaniqua, something like that. And then they also used the term like darkies and everything like that. And um, while I don't necessarily think that the whole like Knight Rider terminology or darkies terminology or anything like that is cool, what I want to talk about is the double standard that I have seen in the black culture, especially when it comes to black women, and that it seems like it's okay for black women to call each other darkies and stuff. It's okay for black women to um, engage in colorism activities, but when black men do it, all of a sudden it's a problem. When anybody else, not even just black men, when anybody else do it, it's an issue. And it seems like black women can get away with uh, blatant racism towards other women, whether they be Caucasian or white or Latina, Asian or whatever. There's a derogatory term. I'm sure we've heard the terms Becky and Karen. I'm sure we've heard the term Ling Ling. I'm not really sure what the Latina stuff is because a lot of Latinas are basically just kind of like the alternate black folks and stuff like that. So usually it's not really with that, but I'm pretty sure that um, they would just lump them in with the Becky, quote unquote. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes Latina might have that sort of texture of hair and everything. What I'm basically just getting at though is that it seems to be that this is again, and I brought this up before. This is like what Dave Chappelle was talking about. Is that every other people can get this smoke when it comes to just basically some roasting or comedic type of stuff, but black women are like this protected group and everything like that. And what's a little perplexing to me is that so many of the black women that complain about this colorism stuff, that complain about the racism and everything like that, are the same black women that say they don't need a black man, they're strong and independent and everything like that. Well, this is just going to be a news flash to any black woman that might watch this. As a man, as a man, I don't care if a Chinese person or a white person or whatever calls me a nigga, because I still have to continue throughout my day and strive. I have to have thicker skin than that. And it seems to me if you're going to proclaim that you're strong and independent and you don't need a man and stuff like that, then you shouldn't be out here trying to cancel these people or cancel Fresh and Fit or cancel basically anybody that uses that language if you are supposedly above that. Because again, as a man, as a strong, independent man, if you want to call it that, whatever, I cannot let that affect me. If I don't like that, I just simply turn it off and keep it moving. But in this case, it's like all of a sudden there is this double standard when it comes to that. And then on top of that, it's like these men, let's go back to the whole Fresh and Fit thing, right? These dudes over there, you guys are making it seem like they are the problem or that they are an issue with black women. Understand, the fact that they said that they don't really deal with black women means that they are not going to add or take away from most black women's lives, because they're basically saying that they just simply don't care. They're out of that. So why come after them so hard, but you don't come after these churches that so many black women are sponsoring, that have given little to nothing back to the community over the last 20 or 30 years? Those are the people that you should really be having issues with. Why? They're the ones that are really actually causing real harm to black women and the black society and the black family structure and stuff like that. Why don't you come at the people like Tyler Perry? Why don't you come at the Dr. Umar Johnsons of the world? Why don't you come at them? Is it because they are pandering to you? Is it because they are telling you false realities and telling you what you want to hear instead of actually giving you a real truth? Is that what it is? I'm just like, look, if you're going to claim that you're independent and you're going to claim that you are strong and mighty and everything like that, and I'm not going to take anything away from that. There are amazing black women that are doing great things in the world. Shout out to my black moms out there. Shout out to my black single parents out there. Shout out to all of that. But if you're going to proclaim this, and you're going to strive in this, and you're going to say that you don't need a man, and you don't need this, and you don't need that, then I would just say that two random gentlemen that say that they don't affiliate with black women, I would say that, why does that bother you so much? Why does that bother you so much? To me, it shouldn't bother you so much. And at the same time, why is it that you guys can be colorist with each other? Matter of fact, I think Asian Doll has a post where she's talking about light skin being better than a African person of dark skin. She's playing into colorism. She's the one that's continuing that narrative. But all of a sudden, they're being colorist because they don't want her, because she was being disrespectful on the show. And regardless of how she made, because I think O'Shea brought up something about maybe she was flirting or something like that. Regardless of what her intentions was, the way that they perceived it is that it was rude, and they removed her from their show, which they are 100% within their rights. But all of a sudden, it's because they don't like black women. Why is it because of that? Why is it that every single time that something negative happens to a black person, all of a sudden we want to go to this whole it's racist thing, it's because I'm black thing? Why can't you just identify and just say, hey, she was being an ignoramus on the show and she got removed for that? Why can you not take that color out of the equation with that? I just don't get that, man. And I think it's weak. Let me just keep it real with y'all. I think that's really weak. I think it's really weak to um, every time that there is some type of corrective behavior, or every time that there is an opinion, but a logical based opinion about black women that actually has some validity to it, if you don't like what they are saying, all of a sudden they are racist. All of a sudden they don't like black women. All of a sudden they're colorist. All of a sudden it's this, that, and the other. You know, look, let me just keep it 100 with y'all. Let me just keep it 100 with y'all. You want to know why I think so many black women were triggered by what those two black men said? It's because when they said Shaniqua or Lakeisha, there's a certain type of black woman that comes to mind when they say that. And it's because the ethnic image that black women have given off over the last 30, 40 years has matched that. And instead of black women actually confronting the issue and the truth of what they're saying, they want to label it off as racism. They want to label it off as colorism instead of just approaching it for what it is. Because the truth of the matter is the type of black women that they were talking about, if the shoe don't fit on you, why are you bothered by it? If somebody speaks on Pookies and Ray Rays, that's not going to bother me. I'm not a Pookie and a Ray Ray. If somebody wants to speak on niggers, that's not going to bother me because I'm not a nigger. I don't hold that. And I think that might be the issue with a lot of black women these days, is that they actually hold that image and they think that image is great. And if it's great, then cool. But nobody has to be subjected to that. And if black women are going to act this way and proclaim themselves to be this way and carry on that image, then this is the outcome. You're going to have men that are simply going to say they do not deal with black women. And the cold, hard reality is instead of saying they are racist, why don't you ask them why? That's the real killer there. You need to look in the mirror and ask why. Why would a black man say he doesn't deal with black women? Because I don't know many other groups of men, whether they be white, Chinese, Korean, Laotian, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Ecuadorian, whatever. I don't know any other group of people, of men, that would say they do not deal with their own women. It's really only black men. That's why there's a stereotype behind that. When he gets home, he's going to leave you for a white girl. Why? To me, that's what black women need to be asking themselves, is why. And if you're not going to ask yourself the question of why in a good faith manner from a black man that says that, and you're going to continue the actions, cool. You're free to do that, but you're not free to try to dictate how somebody else should think. They are free to think and do what they gonna do, just like you are free to think and do what you gonna do. And they're gonna get the outcomes that they get from that, just like you're gonna get the outcomes that you get from this. I don't think it's fair, even though the world is fair, it's what it is. I don't think it's fair, though, to sit up there and label these guys as racist or colorist for simply having a preference. But again, where it really comes down to in this is, for a lot of black women, you just need to ask the question of why. Why are black men not wanting to, why are black men simply choosing to not want to be interested in black women? You gotta ask yourselves that question. Hey, though, this has been, I think it's been a pretty good video. This is The Authentic Man, aka Godson Cam. Make sure y'all leave a like and a follow on all of that jazz. And until next time, peace. We is out of here.